Representative Tanner, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Okay. Mr. JFAC himself, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. What is going on this morning?
Uh, Chaos, I would say. We were kind of lambasted, surprised by the enemy, I guess you would call them at this point in time. We had kind of an understanding that we were going to be working these maintenance type budgets, and that's kind of where the committee was at. The budgets have been read across the House and Senate floor at this point, but so we finally were able to get their CEC motions done as of yesterday. And today we were expecting to finally get back to setting budgets. So we came in expecting to set budgets based on the maintenance budget and the additional items going forward. And where you saw Republicans working with Democrats coming up with a base budget. So it's going to be going back to the exact way we actually did it the previous year, and removing that base budget option. In my opinion, I think a lot of this has to do with what these additional budgets would look like versus a maintenance budget. So if the maintenance budgets were to stay in place and these additional budgets were to go, they're nervous if they'll make it through the House and the Senate floor. And I would agree with them. I think that there are going to be some pushback. It gives the body a lot more ability to go through and line item and cut some of that stuff back without cutting the agency's funding altogether. You can be more selective on what the body sees as necessary or not necessary for the state of Idaho and where we want to spend our money. So gave a lot more transparency, which I think there's a lot of people out there that don't want transparency within government, that it makes them extremely nervous. And so we saw that today in committee where several of the representatives, Republican representatives, partnered with the Democrats and kind of overran the show.
Yeah, I mean, I just when I got word this morning that this was going on, I part of me wasn't surprised, but I just, I'm not fully aware of all the tactics and everything. But you guys, it sounds like you guys were caught off guard here a little bit. So, I noticed there wasn't much debate going on because you really kind of probably read the tea leaves and knew what was happening. And, maybe you were going to hash it out later on in your own caucus or deal with it when it hits the floor. But do you get a sense now that maybe we will see your original maintenance budgets come to the floor and these new budgets come to the floor? Or is there still something that you can do or that we can rally the people to help do here? What do you think? You think we'll see both of these?
I think as of right now, we have the maintenance budgets that have been right across the House floor. So those ones are there. These budgets that were just passed as of today, the budgets that I voted against will be put together, will be transmitted over to the House as well as to the Senate, and then it becomes up to the Speaker and the pro temp of what they want to do with those particular budgets. They do have options. They can send them back to a different committee to be held. They can hold them there. That is their power to be able to do. And the tough thing is once JFAC actually approves those, they would immediately go to the committee chairs. The co-chairs can't actually hold those in our committee. They have to be transmitted through. So realistically, it's going to be a lot up to the Speaker and the pro temp of what's going to actually happen at this point in time. And then there potentially could be where we approve these maintenance budgets and then these other budgets come through and we kill them within committee or within the floor. And that to me would be the hope that the body actually sees this value in the maintenance budgets and votes these base budgets that are coming through down and sends it back to the committee and says, no, we do not want that. We actually really want to see these maintenance budgets. We think this is an important aspect for the citizens of the state of Idaho, as well as the transparency to those citizens.
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to the actual, if these bills start getting debated or they get sent back, I mean, Let me back up, I guess. The bills that came, the budgets that came across your committee today, did those contain items that normally you guys would have negotiated or tried to like move, reduce or expand or whatever it is? Were those budgets what you were hoping to sit there and negotiate on like you originally intended?
So yes, normally if we would have been dealing with the base budgets like those ones that came forward, we would have actually been working on alternate budgets for that base budget. We were unaware of that they were even coming. So most everybody found out early the first thing this morning that these were coming. I think I left the Capitol and it wasn't until after 5 last night, and it seemed like that was not going to happen. We were going to go forward. For me, I was trying not to go blow things up out of the water, to go start going through these maintenance budgets, add-ons budgets that would be sending through. So we were just trying to get the process moving, so we can actually start voting and start working on a lot of other budgets. There's a lot of budgets that we still have left to come, a lot of big budgets. A lot of the budgets that we saw today didn't have a lot of line items on there. It didn't have a lot of kind of extra stuff in them. These were pretty basic budgets. There were a few that had some stuff that I would have liked to seen probably not in there. But if we would have been back, if we knew we were going to go back the old way, then yes, we would have seen some cuts, at least some options for some cuts within those.
Okay. All right. So then let me ask you this. This is the hard question. And I understand if you don't want to name names here, but who's behind this? I mean, someone had to have been working on this, the past week or so. I mean, you guys passed these budgets 17 days ago. We got a counter on the screen. We're letting people know how long those maintenance budgets have been passed through your committee. But somebody had to have been working on this behind the scenes. And I noticed that when these motions came up, they had their figures ready. They had everything ready to go.
I think that is the big question. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out if it is coming from potential leadership, from sub-factions of leadership, or are these coming from groups of people within the committee itself? I think it's debatable. It may be a mixture of both. I honestly don't know. And I think a lot of people are digging, trying to find out who it is. I don't believe it is Mike Moyle or Chuck Winder, even though I think they are the head of the spear per se, and the ones we're looking to lead us through this. But I don't believe with talking with both of them, I don't believe they are the ones working this. So besides that, I really don't know. I wish I did know exactly who I could, and we might be a little easier to deal with if we knew exactly who was the one working this. So
right. Well, fair enough. And we'll snoop around a bit more ourselves and see if we can find out who the culprits are here.
But
the main thing is that we need to make sure that Speaker Moyle knows that we have his back if he wants to bring these original maintenance bills forward and continue on with transparency. We're mobilizing folks to make sure that we've got his back, and that if anybody else who is not necessarily speaking out like you are, to know that the people are behind them. And so if members of your caucus are upset behind the scenes, then you need to let them know that we've got their back, and we want Speaker Moyle to do the right thing. So Representative Tanner, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time. Anything else that any place we can follow you or keep in touch with you? You want to share how people can help support you specifically?
I think just continue to reach out to the members on JFAC. I think emailing everyone on that committee and letting them know the will, so they know the will of the people. I think that is probably one of the best things. If somebody wants to sign up, they can always go on to the legislative site, sign up to our newsletters. But don't only sign up for mine, sign up for as many representatives as you can, so you can get an idea and figure out where their positions are at, and then if you support their positions or not.
Great. All right, Representative Tanner, thank you again for coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.